So I was gonna take y'all down to the table, but it ain't work like that. I ain't there yet. You know, I couldn't get my lighting right. I just couldn't get shit right. So here we are. Just random videos right now. So we were listen. We're gonna have us a little chit chat. A little chitty chat. Y'all know the vibes. First and foremost, y'all already know I gotta show gratitude before embarking on anything, even when it comes down to coming on to the table. Ain't no table right here, but again, don't judge me. Just love me, okay? If you judging, you can skedaddle up on out of here, okay? You just go. But we're gonna go on and get right on to it. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. I appreciate y'all. If you all are new to the channel, welcome. This is Tea Time with Tundi. I'm Mother Tundi. A lot of people call me Mother Tundi. You can call me Auntie, Little Big Sizzla. Hey, that is I. Right now, I'm in big sister mode because, quite honestly, this table talk is geared more towards my sisters. Now, men are welcome too, okay? You all will be considered cross-watchers. Let's just be clear about that. Men are welcome too, but this is I'm tongue-tied tonight. Specifically geared towards my sisters. If you all are vets to the channel, thank y'all for coming back. It's a whole vibe. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming and tuning in and retapping in. Y'all just don't forget to tell y'all cousins and them y'all came by now, you hear? Don't forget to tell everybody. Don't forget to subscribe if you ain't subscribed already. And don't forget to tell your cousins and them. I's here. Don't forget to tell them. But y'all saw the title, y'all saw the thumbnail. Today we talking about whether or not it's really a woman's intuition or is it a trauma response, sis? Are you ready for the conversation? As a disclaimer, if you're not ready for this conversation, okay, y'all already know how it gets down. Go write in your journal, go watch Housewives of Atlanta, do whatever y'all gotta do to get yourselves mentally together before this tea spill, okay? Because it's gonna spill. We're gonna go on and get into it, y'all. We're gonna go on and get into it. So I really do want to speak to you all about intuition versus trauma response. Now, I know this is not a subject too often brought up, even like this. But hey, it is what it is, okay? That's what it seems like, you know, my purpose seems to be is doing the abnormal fuck shit that is against the grain in society today. But it is what it is, okay? That's just what makes me fucking great. And if you don't like it, you are more than welcome to get the hell up off the table and come back when you got, you know, your emotions in check. But outside of that, for those of you all that are here, y'all want some tea, okay? Y'all just be sure to bring y'all tea, y'all lattes, y'all frappuccinos. Call DoorDash, let them know that you need your shit. Do what you gotta do and come on back to the table. Okay, and now that we're here, how y'all doing? Y'all ready? Okay, so first and foremost, let's talk about what intuition actually is. Okay, because I know that we've all heard the term that women have what's called a woman's intuition. Okay, some people have many people have different understandings of what a woman's intuition is. Some people look at it like it's just, you know, women be knowing shit, which we do. Other people look at it as though, you know, a woman is always gonna know when some fuck shit is happening in a relationship. What, you know, a lot that still that plays a big part on this conversation as well. But let's talk about what intuition actually is, shall we? So intuition is an inner knowing. Okay? Intuition is an inner knowing. There is a lot of back and forth about the fact that only women have intuition. Men don't really have intuition. Yada, yada, yada. Let's talk about it. So the concept of women being the ones to have what's called this intuition is it stems from the womb. It stems from the womb. Now, I know a lot of y'all are probably like, what the figgity fuck? Okay, let me explain. Let me explain, y'all. So before I really go deep into that, I want to explain this. And this may lay the foundation as to what I mean by that. Now, I've understood this concept, but I have this mentor that actually broke this down so well. Like, I just got to break it down to y'all the same way. And she said something to me. She said that nothing can be manifested into, now these may not be the exact same words, but you know, I got the point. Nothing can be manifested in the physical realm without first being created in the invisible or the spiritual realm first. So let's talk about the womb space. Now, everything has a womb. Okay, what is a womb? A womb is a space where creation happens. That's it in a nutshell. A womb is a space where creation happens. Okay, so yes, as women, we have physical wombs, but any aspect of your life can have a womb. Whatever you give birth to, it has a womb that it came out of originally. Okay, even down to pain and traumas and things of that sort. They all have wombs, right? So just think about a being that's born with an actual physical womb. Now, ladies, I really want you to really think about this. If you were born, okay, with a womb, born with the space of creation, it's not just there to make babies, okay? It literally is your space of creation. If you were born with this, what are you creating on a regular basis? Okay, what are you creating on a regular basis? How much power does that actually hold when it affects your intuition or how you're being guided? Because remember, now it may not make too much sense now, okay, but trust is coming together. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and drop a tidbit. I want you to really think about whether or not your intuition is healthy or toxic. That's what it really boils down to. Because let me just also remind you, again, everything is birthed from somewhere, but prior to birth, it had to develop. It had to develop in a womb. And women in particularly, that's why as beings, we absorb everything. Women are internal, men are external, if you haven't heard that term before. But it's a real thing. We absorb everything. That's why we're so damn emotional. Okay? Emotionally unstable creatures is what I've heard. But, so, that's what makes or allows women to have this gift of heightened intuition by default. Because we literally absorb everything, physically and spiritually, or emotionally, in whatever way possible. Now, to break it down with whether it's intuition versus trauma response. Now I'm about to break down why taking self-care and taking care of yourself is so important. Self-care, bruh. Or sis, self-care. It's vital. So, when we think of trauma, or not even so much trauma, just events that have transpired in our lives. And not even just our lives, but the lives of our elders or the lives of our parents and grandparents and those that came before us that were just passed down. we have to really, really think about whether or not we are just repeating cycles, or are we really being guided by our intuition, or are we being guided by cause and effect of previous experiences or previous examples, so to speak. Prime example, especially as young women. I'm about to be real honest with you. What if I told you that a lot of the guidance that we have received coming up were oftentimes from traumatic standpoints or hurt standpoints? Because you have to remember, all of this was birthed from somewhere. And we're just going to take the women of the family. All of the guidance from each woman in each generation that passed down has been embedded into you as well. It's also in your DNA, your responses, the way you move, the way you act, the way you react. It's all in your DNA. It's there already. And yes, even though we love, honor, and respect those that came before us, we grown now. We grown now. So it's up to us to make the decision with all of the information that we have, whether this be actual verbal information, or even looking at the way we're operating and saying, okay, what level of consciousness am I going to operate from? Okay, what level of consciousness? Because truth be told, you can have your higher self operating at a low vibrational frequency. But a lot of y'all are afraid to say that. But I'm going to say it. And I'm going to sip on it. Alright, so I just touched bases on the ancestral connection, the lineage connection, into how our consciousness, our higher selves, how these aspects of ourselves are actually birthed, right? I just touched on it. Didn't go all in. But let's talk about, again, your higher self operating at a low vibrational frequency. You know how that happens? Do you know how that is formed? How that is birthed? By not doing your healing work. By not taking accountability. By avoiding shit. By sweeping shit up under the rug. Repeating those same cycles that a lot of our ancestors have done. And it's not to throw blame. Okay? It's not to throw blame on anyone. But it's to say, okay, you have a responsibility. And that's to take responsibility. Like that term, when you know better, you do better. That wasn't just a basic term that was picked up. That was a real gem that, our people have dropped. When you know better, you do better. We talk about healing bloodlines and breaking generational curses and things of that nature. Yo, sis, I'm going to be completely real with you. If you're not doing your healing, not only are you continuously repeating cycles and operating as such, but let's not be around here fucking these men up and then blaming them and then getting mad at them. Because again, we hold the womb, right? What are you birthing? Let's not think short term. We're thinking all the way around, okay? Like, no, seriously. And I know a lot of y'all probably gonna cuss me the fuck out, but no, seriously. We hold a womb space, so we really have to take into account not only what it is that we are creating and molding and bringing forth into fruition on a mental, spiritual, or emotional level, okay? Even on a spiritual level, because you also have to understand that when we're having relations with these men, we're transferring energy. Most times we're feeding these men, okay? And vice versa. But at the same token, you still have to remember your womb space is that space of creation. That's that sacral space. That sacral is sacred. Okay? And to go deeper into that, let me remind you that, again, y'all know they're saying women are internal, men are external. Women, and because we actually hold a physical womb, okay, that feminine energy is absorbent. This is what happens. We take in, we absorb, okay? We heal, we nurture. This is what we do. We heal, we nurture, we hold all of that in, right? And we transform it. Then we rebirth it, and we send it on about its way to be great. Right? That's what we do, whether we're doing it consciously or not. So, if we are operating from a space that's still dealing with trauma, abandonment issues, hurt issues, daddy issues, all those issues, right? What kind of responses do you think that is going to birth into? Look at it like this. You know how you take heed to your diet when you're expecting an actual physical baby? You know, you don't really indulge, and you're more aware of what you're intaking. The same difference, okay? When it comes down to your growth and your development. The same way. And healing is a very big part of that. And I'm going to be honest. We as women, as a collective, we've endured a lot. We've endured a lot. I've got a project for you, though. I want y'all to try this. All right, y'all. So what I want y'all to do is I want y'all to take a moment to really analyze your lineage. Your mother's side versus your father's side. Or your mother's side and your father's side. So I want you to really go through, particularly my women, my ladies. Men, you can do this too, okay? Because it really does play a major part in how you operate, even intuitively. Because remember, our being is made up within our DNA, okay? There are things that are continuously passed down through generations. So I want you to go through the women in your bloodline, and men, you can do this for men too. And go through the patterns, their relationships, how they responded. Go through these aspects of your folks. Go see about your folks. And when you look at the responses, truly sit down and ask, were these trauma responses? Where did these aspects come from? Where did they stem from? And that'll really shed light on how trauma can really affect one's intuition. Because maybe it's your intuition operating on a level of, well, this is how my mother did it, or this is what my mother taught me, or this is how grandma did it, and this is what my grandmother taught me or taught my mother, and vice versa. Remember, we are feeding the generations and giving birth to the generations coming forward. So we really have to take into account what it is that we are giving birth to. What was created and what are we giving birth to? And then move forward and reflect on your own experiences. How your own experiences have molded you, have molded your way of thinking, your way of operating, okay? That higher voice that you listen to. Being hurt, being abandoned. The fear of being abandoned. You know, you have to really take into account whether or not these are trauma responses that you're operating from, or your higher self actually guiding you. Because you can operate in a sense of, you know, oh, well, this person is doing this, that, and the third to me. Oh, they've got to be preparing to just leave me hanging, or I just can't trust them. No. I've been through this before. I can't trust them. Or to even make matters even clearer, let's just say you have not had a father around. And for a lot of women in this predicament, this has been a cycle on certain ends of the family. Okay, and you really haven't had that close-knit, real intimate type of love outside of a romantic connection, right? So you really don't know what real love from a masculine looks like, healthy love from a masculine looks like, what it feels like. So when you do receive it, you step into survival mode. You step into survival mode because of that fear of abandonment. When in fact, that was a trauma response and not your intuition telling you, oh, this is not real love. Which is why really going deep within self and pulling out those wounds, not being afraid of those wounds, really pulling them out, nurturing them back to health, getting an understanding of them, nurturing them back to health, getting an understanding of them, and getting down to the root of things and bringing resolution and peace to your spirit matters so much. Especially as women. Again, you have to remind yourself that you are the source of creation. You hold a very powerful source of creation. And what you create is giving birth not only to one layer of offspring, but nations of offspring. I'm going to add this. I was hearing that hymn. Well, it's not a hymn. It's a song. This battle is not yours. This battle is not yours. It's the Lord's. So to go deeper on that, okay? Now, I don't know everybody that's watching's belief system, but when you think of the Lord, that is a prime example of your higher self, of your higher consciousness, that higher voice. Okay? So when you think of that song, this battle is not yours. Quite honestly, a lot of these demons that a lot of y'all fighting are not even yours to be dealing with in the first place. It's shit that's been left behind from generation to generation to generation and just passed on down to you. It ain't yours, boo-boo. You're going to have to pull that shit out, heal it, and let that shit go. Because if not, it's just going to continuously be a revolving door. A revolving cycle. Again, if you really pay attention, whether that be mother side, father side, whoever side, a lot of these cycles you can really clearly see, whether that be single mothers that have been consistently through these lineages, broken homes, divorced homes, relatives resorting to drugs or dependencies. So if not, you're going to continue to respond and keep that cycle going. In event, continually, breaking up homes, I hate to say fucking these men up, passing these genes down to children. And again, if you're taking the stand to be that one, whether you asked to do it or not, because a lot of you all have decided to say, okay, I accept the challenge. I accept the mission. Okay. If you know, you know. But if you're taking that stand to actually be the one to break these generational curses, heal these bloodlines, resolve these cycles, you gotta be willing to actually go in and dissect and switch some shit up. And that starts with understanding whether or not your intuition is actually operating from a higher vibrational standpoint or operating in trauma response. And I'm gonna go a little deeper than that. To my master manifestation babies. And I say this in love. You ain't gonna be able to manifest shit if you ain't healing. Because with healing comes the change. With healing, it requires releasing. It requires letting go of some shit. It requires letting go of certain habits. It requires letting go of thought processes and certain thinking patterns. It requires losing pieces of yourself so that you can attract those things that are in alignment. A lot of you all are not in alignment for the things that you're praying for, or the things that you're manifesting. And as soon as God, Spirit, whichever you call your guides, say, okay, well, I need you to let go of this shit right here. Okay, it's been hanging around way too long, and it's time to change the trajectory of things. Point blank, period. And as soon as Spirit says, okay, I need you to let this shit go, all of a sudden it's too much. Meanwhile, you'll then see that, you're still running through the same cycles of relationships ending up the same way, and keeping your thoughts of relationships, or actually, or your thoughts of just whatever you're really focusing on in life as far as connections, whether that be platonic, friendship, work, business, whatever. You'll start to really see, or maybe you won't see, but you will notice that, shit ain't changing. Because you don't want to let go. You don't want to switch shit up. That's a sacrifice, babe. It's a sacrifice. And for those of you all that, are aware of Christianity, or you are actively involved in the Christian faith, it's a lot like how Christ sacrificed his flesh for higher gains. In other words, he decreased in flesh to increase in spirit. He made that sacrifice for his people. Look at it that way. So I won't go too deep into that. That's a conversation for another day. But I really do want you all to sit back and really reflect. Because, that really is a whole conversation for another day. Because I know for a fact that it was plenty of things that God went to Jesus about, and Jesus was probably like, what? What? The hell? And he had to trust that higher knowing. He had to trust that higher voice in order to reach those gains. So I really want you all to really reflect on how you're operating, what you are nurturing, what you are holding on to, what you are developing versus what you're giving birth to. And then truly ask yourself, are you trusting your higher self? Are you trusting your spirit? Or are you putting more trust in your situations? Are you putting more trust in your ego? Are you putting more trust in your traumas? And are you responding in trauma response versus intuitively? And I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done with it. Because I know while Jesus was on that cross and thinking about all the pain that he was enduring at that moment, if he had operated in the response of the trauma that he was dealing with versus his higher self, we would have been fucked. If y'all get what I'm saying, like, according to biblical teachings, we would have been fucked. And I want to leave y'all with this affirmation. And I really want y'all to truly meditate on this. Y'all, this sounds like an altar call. But really, if y'all are choosing to take the stand to make changes, and not only yourself, but the generations moving forward, I want you all to really meditate on this affirmation, y'all. I am not limited by any past thinking. I choose my thoughts with care. I constantly have new insights and new ways of looking at my world. I am willing to change, and I am willing to grow. Ashe. 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 It's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. Ashe. Ashe. So, y'all, it's been a pleasure, but Mother Tunde is hungry. So, I'm going to have to catch y'all next Thursday. And if you haven't already, which by now you should have, hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell so that every time Mother Tunde posts, y'all already know what's up. Y'all already know what's up. Go on and pop on through. And for those of y'all that don't know, I'm going to go ahead and run this past you. On Tuesdays, we do tea and tarot. And I'm about to start actually sharing the teas that I'm drinking with you all, and just sharing a little bit of insight on that. So if you want the tea on the tea, subscribe and come and say, oh, she got bars. Okay, besides the point. But yeah, I'm lame as hell in real life. But and also check out Mindset Monday. So I love you all, and see y'all later.